Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another SheRa and the Princess of Power episode review. This is going to be season 1 episode 7 titled In the Shadows of Mystacor. So let's get into it. So the episode starts off with Bow, Adore, and Glimmer sleeping in the woods. I guess they just... Actually, we don't get a reason why they're sleeping in the woods. You would think they're on a mission, right? We never really know. Yeah, we don't really get a reason because right after this, they're trying to go to Mystacor. They're just sleeping in the woods. I guess you could have said they're on the way back to Bright Moon from Drill from last episode, but they don't specifically say that. So who knows? Anyway, it starts off with all three of them sleeping inside of the woods. Adore hears something and gets up and looks into the woods, and she sees one of Shadow Weaver's shadow monsters. But obviously, I don't think she ever seen those before, so she gets really confused and goes after it. Then it turns the morning and Bo wakes up and he looks at Glimmer like, hey Glimmer, wake up. And she's not a morning person. And it's a pretty funny detail that Glimmer's using her cape as a cover. Because I didn't know it was that long, but it just stretches out. She puts it over her head and she's asleep. Glimmer's like, no, come on, Bo, 5 more minutes. And he goes, okay. She goes, I can feel you watching me. And she gets up and her hair's all crazy. She goes, how come the people that snore the most wake up first? He goes, I don't snore. Adore, do I snore? Adore's gone, but they see her like in the distance looking in the woods, and she's really fidgety. And Adore explains about, well, what I just said about her. She could have sworn she saw something last night in the woods, so she's just been looking out. And they're like, Adore, have you been up all night without sleep? Without a sleep? Have you been up all night without sleeping? She goes, what? I mean, maybe. I mean, somebody got to stand guard, right? And they go, wow, Adore, you're kind of wildin'. Like, that's not good for you. Anyway, this was Glimmer's crazy bedhead. She was using her cape to sleep. Actually, I don't think I showed you guys exactly her cape as a cover. I just had it. Let me rewind it again. It goes so quick, but, Netflix 10 seconds, that's what I'm talking about. She was using her cape to sleep, which I thought that was pretty funny. That's when Bo was just looking at her. Anyway, they say Adore is really fidgety, so she probably needs to just go to Mystacor. Well, Glimmer says they're in luck because they were already going to Mystacor, but Adore didn't seem like she knew that, not even Bo. Because Bo was like, really? We're going to Mystacor? So that's why I said, like, why are they in the woods? I guess they could have just been on their way back home from Drill, but they don't ever say that. Anyway, obviously Adore has no idea what Mystacor is. Bo says is that it's a bunch of floating islands in the sky, obviously, where the top sorcerers of Etheria go to train and just be there. And they have like hot springs, healing magic, the whole shebang. It's a really nice place just to chillax. And they also have their own beaks. I don't know why I started like stutter right there. They also have their own beaks, and Bo says that they have an invisibility spell on the island, so evil can't find it. So Adore can go there and relax. And the head sorcerer there is Glimmer's aunt, Caspella. But in this whole episode, we just call her Aunt Casta. Aunt Casta. I was going to say Aunt Cast, but nobody calls her that. And like I said in episode 5, we saw her on the mural inside of the throne room. So I thought, not the throne room, it was like the general warrior room where they tried to plan where to attack the horde. But we saw her mural there. That was pretty cool. Anyway, as soon as they start to walk away, that same shadow monster that was walking Adore starts to follow her. Then we get the theme song. After the theme song, we cut over to Catra walking inside of Shadow Weaver's room. I can put the towel back on the TV. And Shadow Weaver's powering herself back up with that crystal inside of her room. So Catra's like, so what did you call me in here for? Obviously, they're trying to go after Adore again. Catra's like, okay, I guess I'll pack my bags. It's time for me to go on another catch Adore mission. And Shadow Weaver's like, no. You have failed one too many times. I'm going after Adore with my own magic. You were going to stand outside my door to stand guard to make sure I'm not disturbed. And Catra is kind of confused, and Shadow Weaver gets really mad and yells at her. Catra gets scared and runs out of there. Shadow Weaver does a spell to combine all the shadow monsters she sent out, put them in one place, combine them, and to go after Adore. And Catra, she's like shaking up, like she just saw a monster. I guess it kind of did, honestly, with Shadow Weaver. We cut back over... should I show that? Yeah, I saw it. I guess I'll keep the towel back off for a little while. We cut over to Adore, and she goes over to a cliff. And Glimmer and both like, okay, here it is. Adore's like, this is a cliff. That's like 10,000 feet in the air. What are you talking about? And Glimmer goes, let's sow a bow. And they just jump off the cliff. And they land on an island that's floating. So that's obviously Mystacor. But at the same time, the way they jumped, it was like, there's no way they could have saw that. Because there was like a bunch of clouds. Like, I mean, there was a buttload of clouds blocking the view of where it was. And there was also a little gap in between the cliff they were on and Mystacor. I mean, I guess Glimmer could have teleported, but still, that was pretty wild. That was pretty wild. They jump off, see it's just clouds. So there's no way they saw the island. And then the clouds dissipate so Dora can see it, so she can jump over it. But you saw, there was a little gap there. I would have been like, yo, like, even if I was, like, even if I knew it was there, I would have still been like, I'm going to wait for the clouds to depart before I jump. You know, I would just wait a second. I guess they do have Glimmer, but that was still pretty wild. Anyway, Adora jumps over, but she sees the Shadow Weaver monster come over to Mystacor, freaks out, doesn't stick the landing. They tell Adora that she didn't really see anything. She's just, actually, I just get the towel off. I keep thinking about it, but that's whatever. She didn't see anything. She just needs to rest. You've just been a lot of fidgety lately, especially since you stayed up all night. You're going to be fine. And Glimmer also tells Adora to get ready because her Aunt Casta, she's a bit much. And then we get to meet her Aunt Casta. And this is what Aunt Casta look like, or Castarella. Yes, she is. She looks basically just like the mirror. That's pretty cool. Aunt Casta. She's a pretty funny character. I thought she's funny. And she's right. She is really hyperactive and a bit much. She's really excited to see Glimmer. Obviously, that's her niece. She's really excited to see Bo. She, in this whole conversation, she mentioned that she's really happy that Glimmer is making new friends because when she started to bring Bo around, they're like, oh, finally, she has a friend. She goes, I gotta admit to you, Adora, when she first started mentioning Bo before we saw him, I thought she made him up. I thought she made him up. Thank goodness he was real, Glimmer. What's the matter, honey? Did you get a new haircut? Yes, I can see that. But you're not wearing the sweater I knit you. She goes, you know, Aunt, I'm not going to wear the sweater every day. Plus, you know, it's kind of hot for a sweater. And then Bo's like, hey, I'm wearing the socks you made me. That's why I like you. I like this one. Come on, Adora, let's walk. So they're walking around Mystacor. Aunt Casta showing them around. She says that they're just in luck because they're finna do, well, okay, let's explain this. It's finna be an eclipse, and this place has 3 moons. And every eclipse, they have to go to the Lunarium, the top sorceress, to do a ritual. And when they said Lunarium, I thought she said Lunarian for a second from One Piece, like King. And I was like, whoa, what? I was whining to come. I do not remember her saying Lunarian. That's kind of wild, but not a Lunarium, which is basically just this big building where they can perfectly see the eclipse from. And anyway, she invites Adora to come see the Lunarium. Well, to come inside to see the Lunarium and some other places and to see the eclipse. First, Glimmer was like, oh, Aunt Casta, you know, we already seen that plenty of times, you know, but she's like, whoa, Dora hasn't seen it? And Bo's like, yeah, come on, Glimmer, Dora hasn't seen it. It's pretty cool to see. And Glimmer just looks at Bo, and Bo's like, what? What's the problem? She goes, well, I guess it's up to Adora to be the final count. What do you say, Adora? And Adora says, well, I mean, I guess it would be kind of cool. Yeah, I guess go see it. And then we cut to them inside the Lunarium. This is like Glimmer's face looking kind of mad at Bo. When he was like, yeah, come on, Glimmer, let's take Adora to the Lunarium. Come on, bro. What? What'd I do? It'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I kind of like that hope little ring she has around her head, too, which is kind of cool. And it's not touching her at all. It's just floating there. I mean, I guess it could just be a spell. That's pretty cool. Anyway, they walk inside this room, and we find these things called the lunar lenses. The ritual they have to do is pour magic into the lunar lenses because these lenses help keep the visibility cloak thing around Mystacor and keep its defenses. So every month when the eclipse comes, they pour magic into this to, you know, regenerate it. So that's pretty cool. And there's also a ton of little tiny diamonds around this place with ancient like scriptures and stuff and magic in them. So that's pretty cool too. Anyway, they're showing, well, not them, Aunt Casta showing Adora the lunar lenses and explaining everything around here and stuff. And Adora's like, oh wow, okay, that's pretty cool. And Glimmer's like, come on, Aunt Casta, I've seen this thing plenty of times. I was kind of hoping that we can show Adora the beaks. She goes, oh, okay, I mean, hey, I mean, it's fine, you know, if you only came here just to see the beaks and next to Aunt Casta, that's fine. That's not what I meant. And then they start, not argue, but they start to talk. And Adora sees the shadow monster again. in the distance in the hallway. I was trying to catch a moment where Glimmer made a funny face. Here it is. She made a pretty funny face when she was talking to her Aunt Castor. That is hilarious. Anyway, she sees the shadow monster, runs after it, and they walk into a hallway full of statues. Well, a door runs into the hallway full of statues, and then Aunt Castor and everybody else catches up with her. And she starts to explain about, oh, these statues are like the best of the best sorcerers that we ever had in Mystacor. And then we see a statue of Glimmer's dad, King Micah. She goes, this here was my brother. Really talented and good. See, he looks just like you, Glimmer. And Glimmer goes, what? He had a beard. And that wasn't funny, but I laughed at that. Because in my family, not in my family, I told the people out of my family, they were like, Captain Yeet, you look just like your mother. And in my head, I'm like, what? I look at my mom like, I don't look like a woman, do I? Like, what? She doesn't look like me. Like, I get so confused when people say that. I mean, I can see we look related. Obviously, I'm her son. But I'm like, I don't, what? What do you mean I look just like? I get so confused when people say that. And Glimmer's like, he had a beard. How do I look like my father? Adora, she goes, wait a second. King Micah's dad was your brother? And Bo's like, yeah. Adora, did you not know what aunt means? She goes, no, honestly, I didn't. I honestly thought somebody would just tell me. Or y'all would explain it, and I would just overhear it. That's pretty funny. I mean, I guess they don't really need to learn family trees and the horde. All you really need to learn is like the basic maths and tie your shoes and how to fight, really. That's all you really need to know in the horde. Anyway, Aunt Castor looks at King Micah's statue and feels really sad. Glimmer says, like, hey, we're going to avenge my dad and beat the horde. My mom said we will, so we get this. He goes, oh, if your mom says we will, I mean, yeah, I guess it has to happen, She goes, not this again. I mean, no, Glimmer. I mean, your mom's an angelic being. I'm just a common sorcerer. Come on, Aunt Castor. No, I write your mom all the time. And she does never reply to me. Not once. What do you think about that? So they have to talk back and forth, and Adora sees one statue, and she goes, whoa, who is this? And Aunt Castor calls this, well, not called it, because that's the person's name, says that this statue is somebody called Light Spinner. It's a stain on Mystacor. This sorcerer only sought out for his true, well, not true strength, but just strength and power, and used dark magic. We don't talk about her anymore. She was banished from Mystacor. And she also says there's theories or rumors that one day she might come back to haunt her revenge. But I mean, hey, it's just people saying stuff. So let's go to the next room. Glimmer does talk to her aunt again. And her aunt like, oh man, you really must. Glimmer's like, hey, we're really tired and hungry from the long trip. So we should probably go to the beach. Her aunt's like, yes, you are tired. I will make a feast. You don't need to make a feast. She goes, no, I will, and walks off. Glimmer's like, okay, well, I guess we can go to the beach now. We got plenty of time. She's making a feast. Let's go. So they go to the beach. And I didn't notice this the first time I watched it, but the second time when I just watched it, the clouds is the sea. That's the sea for this place because they're in the clouds. So it's kind of like, it reminded me of Sky Island from One Piece because the cloud is the sea. I thought that was pretty funny. I don't think you really get to see it, though, to the end of the episode. Anyway, they come over to the beach, and Glimmer says, okay, Glimmer goes, let's just lay down and just hear the ocean waves and just relax. They all lay down. Bo passes out instantly. Adora doesn't know how to relax just by laying down. She just keeps fidgeting and just keeps moving around. And Glimmer's like, okay, that's not going to work. Bo, he's like, yeah, we need to take Adora to... They go to the hot springs, but Glimmer calls it something different. So look at the subtitles, and it really makes, like, it zooms in on her face when it does that too. She calls this place the steam. That's not when it zooms in on her face when she says it. That was pretty funny. The steam grotto, but it's just the hot springs. So they bring Adora over to the hot springs. She actually does start to relax, and inside the hot springs, she actually passes out. She wakes up and she sees the Shadow Weaver monster looking at her, and it calls her name out. She starts to freak out, grabs her sword, turns into SheRa, and starts to fight, but she's just hitting clouds. And they're like, whoa, Adora, you need to calm down. What's the matter? You brought your sword? She goes, I swore I heard Shadow Weaver. It's like, she was right here. She was talking to me. They're like, whoa, there's nobody here. It's an invisibility spell. No one can get here. I don't know who this Shadow Weaver is, but they did a number on you. And she, that's me and my mom making noise in the background. And she's like, she was like a mother figure to you, huh? Adora's like, no, no. She just helped me tie my shoes and learn how to, math and how to fight. I guess somewhat motherly, but not really. They're like, Adora, it's okay. You're safe now. You're around friends. You're in Mystacor. We just, maybe you just need to relax a little bit. Even more now than you already are. You were just doing so well, relaxing in the hot springs. So Bo and Glimmer walk out of the hot springs. She hears Glimmer call her crazy, and she walks out the hot springs, but there's nobody there. Adora's really confused. Then Adora walks inside the hallway with all the statues, and she hears the shadow monster taunt her in the voice of Catra, and then leads her into the room with the lunar lenses. And then the shadow monster keeps making sounds. Well, not sounds, but it's talking in the voice of Catra. Then it's Shadow Weaver taunting her. Then it also forms itself to look like Hordak. And Adora freaks out, turns into SheRa, and destroys, not the lunar lenses, but some of the little diamonds on the wall that have like ancient spells and stuff on it. And then Aunt Castor comes in, freaks out because she just destroyed like these ancient artifacts, and she could have destroyed the lunar lenses. And Glimmer's like, hey, it's okay. Maybe you should just get some sleep. I'll handle my aunt. And Bo's like, yeah, come on, let me show you to the rooms. So obviously Adora feels really bad for destroying the lenses, and especially because Aunt Castor gets spazzed at her. So she goes to get some sleep. After she goes to get some sleep, she sees Glimmer. Glimmer comes into the room, spazzes at her for like destroying the stuff. Like, how could you do this? You're supposed to be my friend. And she's like, no, Glimmer, I promise you. Like, you know what? Just stay in here. And goes out the door. But it turns out that was a shadow monster just looking like Glimmer. Then the next scene, Aunt Castor and some of the other top sorcerers are performing the ritual to pour magic into the lunar lenses to give it more power. And while they're doing this, the Shadow Weaver monster takes control of the ceremony and starts to pour darkness into it. I was gonna say the Aunt Castors. That's funny. The other sorcerers are pouring their magic in on Castor. Well, really, it was just really on Castor trying to stop that. I don't know why the other sorcerers weren't trying to help her, but they try to stop it. But a big flash happens. Then we cut to a door outside, and she's walking, and she sees like the barrier at Mystacor fade in and out, and Bo runs past her like, "Come on, Adora, we need to go. We got to get out of here." She go, "What, Bo? What's going on? Where's Glimmer?" And she touches Bo's shoulder, and it just phases through him. So that's a shadow monster. She goes, and Bo goes, "Everything that happened is your fault." All the Adora's like, "What?" She runs back inside, sees everybody underground, knocked out, they can't move, and all the shadow monsters become really big, and they take the form of Shadow Weaver. Shadow Weaver starts to taunt her again, saying that she was nothing without her. She raised her. You don't know these people. I only know you. Well, yeah, she's like, you don't know these people. These are new people that don't know the true you. I do. I raised you. I watched you grow into this magnificent being. And she goes, "You're nothing without me. You'll only be something with me." And Dora's like, you didn't raise me. You weren't a mother figure to me. You just used me and played your mind games on me like you always do. But you can't do that anymore. I have friends that take care of me, that actually are kind to me. You are nothing to me anymore. Your mind games won't work anymore. And Adora's sword, at first it wasn't working, and she couldn't turn into SheRa. And then she grabs it, because throughout this whole conversation, they say all that stuff back and forth to each other. Adora couldn't turn into SheRa. She drops the sword, but then she runs back over to the sword and grabs it when Adora starts to speak up for herself more. And the sword turns into a shield, and it gives off a huge, powerful glow. This is the shield I was talking about. That was pretty cool. The sword turned into a shield. So she climbs up all the crystals, pours the magic, beams she's able to make, into, this pool of magic. The pool of magic gets really bright. It pours magic back into the lunar lenses, and hey, it saves the day. It's able to regenerate the lunar lenses so the Mystacor barrier can come back up. Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. It just shoots it out and goes right back into the pool of magic that it had to go into. Obviously, after that, Shadow Weaver, she gets taken out, and it cuts back to where she is in a room, and some magic come out of the pot she was looking into and hits her in the face, and she falls down. Everybody wakes up, and Adora apologizes for what happens to Aunt Castor. Aunt Castor's like, "No, you saved Mystacor. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for us." And Bo's like, "I'm so sorry we didn't believe you. We've been bad friends." And Adora's like, "No, you haven't been bad friends. You've been so kind to me more than you'll ever know." That's really sweet. And I do want to show this one shot. This is really nice of Aunt Castor. And some of the other sorcerers just looking at Dora, thanking her for what she did for saving Mystacor. Really nice. After that, Dora, Glimmer, and Bo go to the beach and relax. It was a really nice scene where Dora was asleep and she wakes up and freaks out. But Glimmer's like, no, we're here. Don't you worry. She goes, thank you. She goes back to sleep. So that was nice. Then Cactrick walks into Shadow Weaver's room. We cut over to the fright zone. She looks around and sees Shadow Weaver on the ground, passed out. Because like I said, some magic bounced back from the pot and hit her in the face. So she passed out when Dora did that big old light show over S.H.I.E.L.D. And she looks at the pot. And she goes, Shadow Weaver, you old crusty woman. If you want to go after a door, you have to go after the heart. And as soon as she says that, an image of Bo pops up of him laying down. Then we get the credits. So I guess Cat was targeting Bo. I mean, that's one of her close friends now, so I guess it would kind of make sense. Pretty wild, though. I think this is the scene. Yeah, this is the scene where it's kind of hard to see, but the clouds, they come up and down like the sea. Like it was like the actual beach. Right? That was pretty cool. And that's the episode. Before my camera cuts me off, I do want to show one cute little thing between Bo and Glimmer from last episode. So let me see if I can get it. Okay. I guess I am. Okay. This is when, you know, he kept nagging Glimmer about his sonic arrow being right. And Glimmer was like, yes, you were right, you dumb idiot. And starts to like give him a noogie. I thought that was pretty funny. I did mention that last episode, but I didn't show it. And I was beating myself up all week. I'm like, man, I gotta show this. So there it is. Okay, that would have been hilarious if it cut me off as soon as I turned my camera. Sorry for talking so fast. I didn't know it was gonna cut me off on that. So hey, I was able to get it in one take. But the past couple episodes, I had to do like 5 or 6 takes, but one take. Thank goodness. So, like, share, and subscribe. I thank you all for watching. I thank you all out there for being wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.